吸纳这名界主进入鸿蒙，意见吗？
终于可以见证，
还有谁有反对？
鸿蒙城的神秘面纱了。
世界的纷争与杀戮，
他们在为什么？
来到这里就会暂时忘记外面
更好的选择。
这是
民族，我们可以有更，再加上刚刚那一枚
祭符。
能找到这里，奇了。你们手上应该有2枚幸福了。
Hello everyone, welcome to the Alrazda channel. Here, I will share spoilers for SwallowedStar, episode 187. Remember, this is based on the novel, so it won't be 100% similar to the Donghua version. Okay, without further ado, let's dive right into the story. After a fierce battle against the Silver Wing King, Chi Wei Ka and King Purple Clock finally had to admit defeat. Despite their best efforts to capture the Silver Wing King, the monster's power proved too strong to defeat. Chi Wei Ka, the mastermind behind this operation, felt deep regret for his hesitation in using the ultimate weapon, the 9 Absolute God Country formation. This weapon was very expensive, each seal costing 1 billion sapphires, so he was too hesitant to use it. This fatal hesitation gave the enemy the opportunity to launch a counterattack that destroyed one ship and threw the entire plan into disarray. As a form of responsibility, Chi Wei Ka compensated King Purple Clock for helping him. Despite the failure, it was a generous amount considering they had tried their best. However, this failure made him even more determined. In his private room, Chi Wei Ka sat down to plan a new strategy that was much more expensive but had a 99% success rate of killing the Silver Wing King. This plan would consume almost all of his wealth, but as a member of a robot race that relied on advanced weapons to fight, he knew that this large investment was worth the promised results. On the other hand, the Silver Wing King, who was actually Luofeng in beast form, managed to escape to the Endless River on the main continent with King Star Fantasy. Star Fantasy, who helped with the teleportation, was very impressed with Luofeng's unique flying ability, which combined teleportation and space combination techniques. This technique allowed Luofeng to achieve extraordinary instantaneous speed, making him the fastest-moving immortal King Star Fantasy had ever seen. After parting ways with the woman, Luofeng returned to his original body and began searching for a new base while curious about the treasures he had obtained from the defeated Nashi race. In the ring world, Luofeng and his Mosha body began to examine the 2 ring worlds containing the treasures left behind by the Nashi race. When his spirit energy penetrated the first ring, a large number of valuable items appeared before him. The most interesting was a shiny black metal fragment that strongly attracted every cell in Luofeng's body. This metal fragment was similar to one he had found on Earth, but it was slightly larger and made of a material more mysterious than any G-class metal he knew. When Luofeng scanned the black metal fragment with his mental energy, a wave of consciousness entered his mind, carrying 59,103 words containing information about the 2nd, 5th, and part of the 7th volume of the 9 Calamities Secret Tome. This legendary manual had a total of 9 volumes, and now Luofeng had the complete 1st, 2nd, and 5th volumes. This manual was very special because it allowed a person to break through their genetic limitations, something that should have been impossible according to the laws of the universe. This discovery was an extraordinary windfall for Luofeng because until now his human body and his golden-horned beast body were not strong enough. With the 2nd volume now complete, he can begin training in higher techniques, even though it will take months, just as it took 3 months to train the 1st volume for the human body and 29 years for the golden-horned beast. However, Luofeng is in no hurry to start training because he is still curious about the other treasures that may be stored in the Immortal King's collection, which is capable of manipulating time. After spending time searching for and collecting all the treasures left behind by the Nashi race, the items were scattered across a vast area, covering more than 10,000 kilometers across the grasslands. Although there were many items, only a few were truly valuable. The one that caught Luofeng's attention the most was a 29-centimeter-long laser-like object called the 1,000-year light. This object emitted a curved light that naturally attracted attention and was made of a rare material usually only found in black holes or secret regions. Its price reached at least 3 billion points in treasure, showing how valuable this item was. Additionally, Luofeng discovered various other rare materials, such as a 32-kilometer-long green-white dew with a diameter of 2.18.2 meters and 360 pieces of 9 light beads. From this collection of materials, he concluded that the Naxi race was planning to forge extremely powerful time-law-based weapons. The total value of all these raw materials reached approximately 8 billion points. This explained why the Naxi race had such extraordinary abilities despite being only a low-level immortal king. He had access to enormous treasures from his background. While examining the loot, Luofeng's golden beast eyes were drawn to a round crystal that looked ordinary among thousands of other items. This soccer ball-sized crystal lay on the ground, looking normal but giving off a different aura. When Luofeng touched the crystal with his world energy, it suddenly lit up with various colors like a dazzling sun. The endless light engulfed the entire area, and within that light, Luofeng felt a discomfort in space and time that made him immediately realize that this was a great treasure. The mystery of the Naxi race's ability to stop time was finally solved. This extraordinary ability did not come from their own talent, but from this mysterious crystal. Luofeng, who had seen many treasures, had rarely seen anything with such powerful energy. Mysterious words began to appear on the surface of the crystal, and although Luofeng did not recognize the writing, he immediately understood its meaning. These were the same words from the Devil Mountain inheritance he had once received. The crystal turned out to be the Dreamlight God's legacy crystal, a relic that could only be accepted by a World Master warrior with a perfect soul. This legacy allowed one to learn the techniques of the Dreamlight God, and if one mastered them perfectly, they could become a god's messenger. Even more extraordinary was that a messenger who successfully fused the crystal with their body could become a candidate for the new Dreamlight God. However, there can only be one god of Dreamlight in the entire universe, so if there is already a candidate, the others can only become messengers until the candidate dies. What makes this crystal even rarer is the cycle of its inheritance. It only occurs once every 10,081 eras, and the crystal Luofeng found was used 82 eras ago. This means it will take another 9,999 eras, or about 100 million years, to receive the next inheritance. Although this is a very valuable treasure, Luofeng cannot use it because he follows the Beast God path, which combines the elements of the laws of gold and space. Specializing in one path is more efficient than learning the laws of time, which are different from his expertise. Faced with this dilemma, Luofeng decided to consult his master, the Chaos City Lord. He also considered Master Zhen Yan, who practiced the law of space, but his master was already in the final steps of becoming a universe venerable, so this crystal was of no use to him. In the palace of the Chaos City Lord, shrouded in primal chaos energy, Luofeng respectfully reported his discovery. The Chaos City Lord, who emerged from the chaotic energy, immediately recognized the value of the crystal, explaining that even the powerful Hongmeng Alliance only had one Dreamlight God crystal out of a total of more than 8,000 inheritance crystals they had collected, showing how rare Luofeng's discovery was. Meanwhile, Luofeng listened to his master's explanation as the leader of the main Chaos City revealed the true secret behind the Dreamlight God's heritage crystal. Though it sounded extraordinary at first glance, there was a major flaw behind it. This inheritance could indeed make someone powerful from an early age, even reaching the level of an immortal king. But in the end, those who relied on it would only stop at a certain point. They would never truly become a true universe venerable, the level sought after by the true geniuses of the universe. The crystal could be sold for around 30 billion points, a value that could be exchanged for an extraordinary amount of treasure, or it could be saved and exchanged for the God General Inheritance, which only appeared once every 10,081 eras, with the next one scheduled to arrive in 120,000 years. Both choices confused Luofeng, as each had major consequences for his future. After thinking hard in silence, Luofeng finally chose to save it for the time being. He knew that 30 billion points could give him a significant increase in power in a short period of time, but the God General Inheritance was something truly priceless, something that even immortal kings were willing to pay tens of billions of points just to get a single slot of opportunity. Hearing his disciple's decision, the city leader supported him, even personally promising to guard the God General Inheritance slot until the time came. As Luofeng left the Thunder Palace, his master could only mutter to himself. He realized that his student did indeed hold extraordinary secrets, from Shiwu's wings and the golden-horned beast's body, to the strange power that could even resist an explosion equivalent to that of an immortal king. All of that proved one thing: Luofeng was no ordinary figure. His existence was destined to tread a much higher path. Returning to his temporary headquarters on the Yanji continent, Luofeng began to immerse himself in the second volume of the Nine Calamities secret tome. The Mosha body turned into a protective stone, while the human body and the golden-horned behemoth body underwent a painful but amazing genetic evolution process. The manual was truly extraordinary. It allowed human genes to surpass the world master level, even healing the huge imbalance between the human body and the golden-horned behemoth's body. No other technique in the universe could defy the basic rules of creation like this. His body was destroyed and reformed over and over again until every cell became more perfect. However, the peace of his training did not last long. In the virtual universe, in the primal region of Yuxiang Mountain where his residence stood, Luofeng suddenly received a report from Dylan. At the entrance to the villa, 9 powerful figures were waiting. All immortal kings, both human and other races. Their leader was a woman clad in pink armor with long, softly glowing hair. Her presence was beautiful yet imposing, her aura clearly showing her status as the official representative of the largest group of the human race, the Hongmeng Alliance. With an alluring smile, she delivered the long-awaited official invitation. The Hongmeng Alliance had come in person to recruit Luofeng to join their ranks. It was a clear sign that his strength and potential could no longer be ignored by the greatest power in the human universe. Luofeng was confused by the official invitation from the Hongmeng Alliance because usually only immortal kings were invited to join, while he was still a world master. However, considering his status as a disciple of the Chaos City Lord and his extraordinary achievements in battle, the team of 9, led by King Desire, came specifically to invite him. Although surprised, Luofeng gladly accepted the invitation because he realized how foolish it would be to reject an organization that contained all the super-powerful warriors of the human race, including his 2 masters. When Luofeng agreed to his membership, a glowing star appeared and landed on his hand, followed by the appearance of a glowing human silhouette that exuded tremendous pressure. This mysterious figure welcomed Luofeng to the Hongmeng Alliance and reminded him of his duty to fight for the Alliance and the human race. The identity of this figure was a mystery. Some said it was one of the palace rulers, others considered it to be an AI from the virtual universe. What was certain was that this figure possessed power equivalent to that of the Chaos City Lord. After a welcome party with the organization's leaders, Luofeng learned about the complex structure of the Hongmeng Alliance. The organization uses a star ranking system from 1 to 7 based on the strength and contributions of its members. As a new member, Luofeng started at 1 star, the status given to all newcomers. Rankings are determined by battle records and automatically calculated by the virtual universe system. The hierarchy starts from 1 star for normal immortal warriors, 2 stars for powerful immortals, 3 stars for peak immortals, and 4 stars for early universe venerables, up to 7 stars for the lowest level of universe masters such as the Tianxi Palace leader. The Hongmeng Alliance headquarters is located in a special space created by the Virtual Universe Company in the form of a magnificent ancient city floating among countless stars. This city is divided into 3 areas. The outer city for 1 3-star members, which includes more than 3 million immortals of various races. The middle city for 4 to 6-star members, most of whom are universe venerables. And the central palace, which is more than 1 million kilometers long for 7-star beings. Above all of that are the rulers of the palace, who exceed 7 stars, beings who can shake the universe. Luofeng was shocked to learn of the true power hidden behind the Hongmeng Alliance. Although he suspected there would be many powerful figures due to the Chaos City Lord's ability to reverse time and revive life. The accumulation of countless human soldiers over the years had created an extraordinarily large military force. Although individual foreign races might be weak, when gathered together, they formed a terrifying force. Interestingly, even though the Hongmeng organization had more foreign races in terms of numbers, the leadership of the Hongmeng Alliance remained in human hands. This shows that in terms of peak strength, humans are still superior. Even powerful figures such as Shi Luoduo or the Tianxi Palace leader have not yet reached their peak strength. There are still the founder of the huge Axe Dojo organization, the Void Gold Master, the Dragon Walk Master, and the Chaos City Lord, who are much stronger. With the human race as the leader, they control the largest territory and resources, while other races can only follow and serve from behind. However, the exact number of palace rulers within the Hongmeng alliance remains a secret that cannot be accessed with Luofeng's current level of authority. The more Luofeng read about the Hongmeng alliance, the more shocked he was by the scale of this organization. This alliance gathered all the powerful warriors from various races, and they controlled unimaginable wealth from all the races that were members. Immortals, Universe Venerables, and Universe Master had access to treasures that made bank auctions for VIP guests look small. Their normal transactions alone were worth billions of Hunyuan, while major deals were even higher. Only a barter system could obtain certain rare items due to their priceless value. Even though the Hongmeng alliance united all forces for the survival of humanity, internal competition remained fierce. Even major leaders such as the Chaos City Lord, the Void Gold Master, and the Dragonwalk Master have their own personal goals. Coupled with other races also fighting hard to obtain more resources, the Hongmeng alliance has become a place where fish and dragons mix, a fiercely competitive arena among the strongest warriors. Luofeng realized he had to carefully study all this information before diving into the city of the Hongmeng alliance. At his base on the main continent of Yanji, Luofeng continued his training on the second volume of the Nine Calamities Secret Tome. As he predicted, Luofeng's human body took nearly 3 months to complete the second volume, similar to the first volume. However, the golden-horned behemoth still required a longer time, about 29 years as before. After completing the second volume, Luofeng's human body underwent a tremendous genetic evolution, his strength becoming 6 times that of a normal human, equivalent to the royal bloodline of the demon race. This achievement made Luofeng even more aware of how valuable the Nine Calamities Secret Tome was. This technique truly transcended the laws of the universe by allowing a normal human body to evolve beyond even the golden-horned behemoth or the beast Hui Suo bloodline. With a total of 9 volumes, each level provided an exponential increase. The first volume provided 3 times the strength, the second volume 6 times, and so on until the 9th volume, which would provide an unmatched foundation that surpassed all known bloodlines. With his drastically improved genetic foundation, Luofeng decided to try absorbing more Blood River crystals. He had previously absorbed 8 crystals, and now with a body equivalent to that of a demonic noble bloodline, he was confident he could achieve the legendary status of a warrior unseen in the Blood River world for many years. The absorption of the 9th crystal was easy, and even though the 10th crystal nearly killed him with its overwhelming pressure that crushed his muscles and bones, he managed to survive. That success gave Luofeng an astonishing transformation. His theory proved correct. Unlike the golden-horned behemoth, which was so large that the Blood River energy could only cover its right claw, his smaller human body allowed the energy to flow throughout his entire body. As a result, his physical strength surged tenfold from before. Combined with the 6-fold increase from the Nine Calamities Secret Tome, he now possessed 60 times the strength of a typical World Master. With the first-level Beast God transformation doubling his strength, Luofeng's human body automatically reached 120 times the strength of a World Master, exceeding the 100-fold requirement to use General Armor. Finally, he successfully fused the General Armor fragment with his human body to the maximum extent, and the Silver Armor appeared, granting him the strength of 10,000 World Masters, easily reaching the level of an Immortal King. Combined with his sword skills and peak techniques, Luofeng now possessed the strength of an Immortal King. This achievement was particularly impressive because he now possessed 2 bodies at the Immortal King level, his human body with General Armor and the Golden-Horned Behemoth. With the ability to use both bodies simultaneously when facing extremely powerful opponents, Luofeng felt confident in facing any challenge in the future. His long-held dream of possessing immortal strength has finally been realized through the synergistic combination of the Nine Calamities Secret Tome, the Blood River Crystal, and the General Armor. With the power of 2 immortal kings at his disposal, Luofeng felt extremely confident in facing any challenge. In battles between immortals, it was usually difficult to kill each other. Even the golden-horned behemoth with Shiwu's wings had to rely on an 800 million point fire god crystal to defeat its enemy, and even that was dangerous for the user. With 2 immortal king bodies that could work together, Luofeng was certain that his enemies would not be able to escape. Since his human body was already ready while the golden-horned behemoth still needed about 30 more years to complete the second volume, he decided not to wait and headed straight for the city of the Hongmeng Alliance. Using the automatic transfer facility as a member of the Hongmeng Alliance, Luofeng teleported to the largest room in the virtual universe where the strongest warriors gathered. He arrived in a small 3,200 square meter living room, the standard residence for all Outer City members. Although it felt cramped compared to his villa in the Primal region, Babata explained that the Hongmeng Alliance city was not a place for training, but a gathering place for powerful warriors. All members had the same virtual body, a weak student-level body, to prevent fighting and maintain safety. Walking out of his residence, Luofeng found himself in a quiet little district with over 8,000 immortals of various races. Each residence had a unique architectural style, reflecting the diversity of races that made up the Hongmeng Alliance. Looking up at the sky, he saw countless stars, each representing a warrior in the city. The atmosphere in the outer city was very different from that of the main continent of Yanji. Here, the immortals gathered peacefully, drinking and chatting together, unlike the frequent conflicts that occurred outside. Luofeng soon met a group of friendly warriors who invited him to join them. He disguised his identity and joined 5 other human immortals, 4 2-star warriors and 1 3-star warrior. They welcomed him warmly and introduced themselves, including the long-haired, dark-skinned King Wood Jade. This friendly atmosphere was in stark contrast to life in the outer regions, where it was rare to see 2 immortals together, let alone dozens of king immortals gathered in one place. The tranquility was disrupted when a one-eyed warrior with a mask and hundreds of braids called Ice Mountain from the Nuobusi race came to the bar. Immediately, the entire area became noisy with taunts and insults directed at him. Even though Ice Mountain was just drinking alone and not bothering anyone, the other warriors continued to taunt him until he left coldly. A confused Luofeng asked Wood Jade about this situation and received an eye-opening explanation about race politics within the Hongmeng Alliance. It turned out that Ice Mountain had not committed a major offense, but the problem lay in his status as a member of a very weak race. The Nuobusi race had only 1 universe venerable in their entire race, so they had no influence whatsoever in the Hongmeng Alliance. In an environment where racial strength determined status, members of weak races were expected to be humble. Wood Jade explained that if humans did the same thing, no one would dare to mess with them because humans were the strongest race in the Hongmeng Alliance. This opened Luofeng's eyes to the complex hierarchy based on racial strength that underpinned the social structure of the Hongmeng Alliance, where the friendliness shown to him was largely due to his status as a human from the ruling race. Wood Jade proved to be an excellent guide, enthusiastically offering to accompany Luofeng on his exploration of the city. As an immortal with infinite life, he explained that they couldn't train all the time, and dangerous battles only occurred occasionally, so spending time with new friends was an enjoyable activity. Together with Wood Jade, Luofeng began to explore the various amazing facilities in this city filled with immortals. Hongmeng Alliance City was very advanced, with rare activities elsewhere being commonplace here, from large ship deals and exchanges of plant and metal life forms to large auctions and gambling establishments. One of the most interesting places was Puya Palace, a 7-story building that served as the city's main gambling center. Wood Jade explained that warriors with risk-taking natures and eternal lives needed entertainment. Their gambling system was very unique, for example, 1 in 10,000 bet, where they provided 100 million hunyuan worth of treasure, then sold 10,000 tickets for 10,000 hunyuan each. One winner would receive all the treasure, while the rest would lose their investment. Despite the high risk, many warriors enjoyed the thrill of gambling with relatively affordable bets. What surprised Luofeng was how profitable these businesses were. The Puya Palace, as the only gambling venue in the city, generated tremendous profits and was said to be owned by 1 or more palace masters. Wood Jade explained that all businesses in the city had quantity restrictions and required the support of at least 1 universe venerable to operate. This created a natural monopoly where only warriors with strong connections could open businesses. Although immortal warriors could not open shops, they also did not need to pay for accommodation, only for gambling or purchasing goods. However, every operating shop had to pay continuous taxes to the Hongmeng Alliance. One of the most prestigious shops is the Universe Treasure Hall, which is said to be owned by the human palace master. This shop has 2 floors that are the same size as the Puya Palace, housing countless trillions of treasures. The first floor contains items worth 1 million to 100 billion hunyuan, while the second floor stores more valuable and rare items. Some items on the second floor can only be obtained through a barter system due to their unique value, which is difficult to determine with ordinary currency. When Luofeng tried to go up to the second floor, he was stopped by 9 female guards who explained that the area was not open to just anyone. A purple-scaled warrior wearing a golden robe named King Wu Pin appeared arrogant and looked down on Luofeng. Wood Jade explained that to access the second floor, one must be a 4-star or higher or have at least 100 billion hunyuan in their bank account. King Wu Pin, despite being from a different race, had an arrogant attitude because his master was a 7-star warrior who treated him like his own race. This incident opened Luofeng's eyes to the complex social dynamics within the Hongmeng alliance. Wood Jade explained that those from ordinary circles could not casually mess with Wu Pin because of his powerful connections. Different circles had different statuses, and those with strong backgrounds tended to gather together. Luofeng realized that Wu Pin's arrogance might actually be a sign of his inferiority complex as a member of a different race in the face of human domination. Nevertheless, Luofeng still enjoyed exploring the first floor, which contained trillions of rare treasures, including several items he needed for training the golden-horned behemoth. What caught his attention the most was a strange suit of armor over 8 meters tall that reminded him of general armor. Luofeng carefully examined the gold armor, which stood over 8 meters tall, and caught his attention. Although this was only a simulation of the virtual universe, and he could not feel the call as he did with the real soldiers and general armor, the energy it emitted was very similar to the 2 suits of armor he owned. Detailed information revealed that this armor originated from an ancient battle in the race war and was owned by an immortal from the powerful Blue Flame race. That immortal managed to kill 10 immortals before finally dying at the hands of a universe venerable, but his gold armor remained intact and became a memento of the mysterious battle. What makes this armor special is its ability to reduce over 90% of both mental and physical attacks, yet it has 3 fatal weaknesses. First, it is rigid and cannot change size, limiting the warrior's movements. Second, immortals must transform their bodies to over 8 meters to wear it, which greatly affects their optimal strength. Third, the face area is not covered by the helmet, so soul attacks through that area will not be blocked. The combination of these weaknesses and its price tag of 5 billion hunyuan made it unattractive to buyers for many years. Wood Jade recounted the tragic story of Black Phoenix, an immortal who had once purchased similar armor. To use it, he transformed his body and even created special alloy armor to cover the weakness of his face. However, in a battle in a secret area, the change in his body size reduced his strength, and his enemies discovered the weakness of his mask. Since his homemade alloy armor was not as good as the gold armor, his enemy's soul attack successfully penetrated it and killed him. This tragedy made other warriors even more reluctant to buy armor that was exorbitantly priced, but had fatal weaknesses. The Universe Treasure Hall had a total of 3 similar gold armors, and the one Luofeng was looking at was the one Black Phoenix had once purchased. Although the original price was 50 billion hunyuan, after the death of the first user, the price dropped to 5 billion and remained stable for many years. This armor had changed hands several times through various battles, but always returned to the market at the same price because no one could use it effectively. Luofeng was convinced that this was a high-level armor from the Warrior and General Armor series based on 4 main characteristics. It came from the Flame God race with the same logo, it could not fuse with the body, it could not change size, and it could reduce physical and soul attacks. He realized that the inability to fuse and change size only applied to bodies that had not been trained in the 9 Calamities secret tome, whereas for him, who had completed several volumes, this armor could function perfectly. With his Mosha-trained body, he was confident he could use this armor without the weaknesses experienced by other warriors. To purchase the armor for 5 billion hunyuan, Luofeng had to sell all of the Na-Shi race's heirlooms. With the enthusiastic help of Wood Jade, they went around looking for the best deals at various stores and friends. After a day and a half, they managed to sell everything for 8.6 billion hunyuan, higher than the Virtual Universe Company's initial offer of 7 billion. Luofeng realized how profitable it was to trade in the city of the Hongmeng Alliance compared to the company's official system, which offered very low prices due to special policies for its members. With sufficient funds, he returned alone to the Universe Treasure Hall to make a purchase that would dramatically change his power. The workers in the Universe Treasure Hall looked incredulous when Luofeng declared his intention to purchase the gold armor that had been on display for a long time without any buyers. He immediately summoned the first-level owner, a human woman with golden curly hair and a 3-star mark on her sleeve, indicating that she was a 3-star warrior named King Kanshin. In a private room, the woman warned Luofeng that many previous buyers had not ended well and that 5 billion was not a small amount. However, Luofeng remained firm in his decision by signing a contract with the Virtual Universe system as a witness and transferring the funds while requesting that his identity be kept confidential in their records. After the transaction was completed, King Kanshin reported the sale to her superior. a universe venerable level creature palace ruler who was surprised to hear that the useless damaged armor had finally been sold. Interestingly, the old man mentioned that his master, the true owner of the universe treasure hall, who was a true absolute being of the human race, had ordered him to maintain the price of 5 billion and to report immediately if anyone bought it. This showed that the armor had a hidden value that no one else knew about. Long Yan, a demon-like creature with a mountain-like appearance, a dragon's tail, and eyes that seemed to contain the entire universe, came to visit the Chaos City Lord in his palace. These two super powerful beings had very different auras. Long Yan shook the surrounding space, while the Chaos City Lord was as calm as the ocean. Long Yan came to report that someone had purchased one of the Flame God race's gold armors, and that the buyer turned out to be the Chaos City Lord's disciple, Luofeng. This was very significant because humans on Earth were nurtured by the same great creator as the Flame God race, so it was possible that Luofeng had a way to use the gold armor. However, the Chaos City Lord responded calmly, explaining that a few sets of gold armor were useless to the human race. The most important thing was to learn how to mass-produce armor like the Flame God race did. Even though they had killed many Flame God warriors and searched for their souls using various methods, humans still had not discovered the secret to mass production. Long Yan agreed and left the handling of his disciple to the Chaos City Lord, hoping that if Luofeng discovered any important secrets related to the growth of the human race's power, it would be a great contribution. After Long Yan left, the Chaos City Lord reflected on Luofeng's situation. Even though his disciple had created a peak technique, his understanding of the laws was still average. Even with the Shiwu wings, he was still very weak, but the power he displayed was surprising. The Chaos City Lord had always known that Luofeng had a special encounter or treasure, and now he was certain that it was the warrior of the Flame God race and general armor. However, he was disappointed because even though the armor was very powerful and useful during the Immortal phase, its effects would diminish as power grew. This armor is only useful in large quantities, having a temporary effect if only one set is used. Chaos City Lord initially thought that Luofeng had experienced a great encounter or obtained treasures from the universe or before the Big Bang. True treasures that should become stronger as the warrior grows, like the terrifying Shiwu wings in the hands of the Universe Venerable, which are still useful up to the Universe Master level. However, he now realizes his assumption may be wrong. Nevertheless, if Luofeng can truly use the gold armor, it means he has a special way of using the Flame God race's armor, something that until now could only be done by the Flame God race itself, while other races, including humans, could only use it without being able to replicate it. After purchasing the gold armor from the treasure hall in the city of the Hongmeng Alliance, Luofeng set the delivery for 3 days later at Camp 26. Although the journey from the main continent of Yanji usually took several months or even years, he was eager to get the armor as soon as possible. Additionally, many sales agreements for goods from the Na-Shi race were also set at the 26th camp, so he had to hurry. Using the God Country transmission teleportation from the Cloud Contact Vine, he returned to the human race's territory and teleported near the Kang Bird planet. After flying through the dark universe for 2 days, he arrived and used the space route to the 26th camp in the 7th extraterritorial battlefield. So what happens next? Alright, thank you for watching until the end, and don't forget to support this channel with likes, subscribe, and comments. That's all from me. Bye.